What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 2 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Orion Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Orion has moved out of Athel Loren on his first wild hunt and has taken out Grom the Paunch's faction by and large. I don't remember whether it was exactly destroyed. No, it does look like it is still alive, but it's probably just an army running around somewhere. Massive Warcal has fallen, and I somehow doubt that they're going to be able to recover. We have also reached the all-important turn 10, which allowed us to unlock the deep roots which we will be using in this particular episode in order to take advantage of grabbing a tree or two if we can do so in time. Finally, we were able to declare war on a ton of factions by going through the diplomacy list, which has allowed us to gain a lot of money and reduce our upkeep very significantly, and due to Orion's warlike sort of campaign traits. Between the episodes, I also went through the list again just to double check, because I didn't really want to spend another like 10 minutes going through those, and declared war on a few more factions and got a little bit more money from them all for doing so. It's all working out. We also now have about 34k, nearly 35k, which is enough to upgrade the first level of the Oak of Ages. I can't wait until this thing can defend itself, because for now we're a little bit wary of declaring war on Clan Angrand, on the Disciples of the Maw, and on Clan Scryer, simply because they'll come over here and we don't have a secondary army to defend. But we'll deal with it. For now, the first thing that we want to do, well, I guess we have to move everybody, is to jump into this forest encounter. Now, Orion, you do have a level, my friend, and I believe we wanted to go through to Quartermaster and home amongst the boughs. The reductions won't last forever, and we're going to get more and more expensive units in here as well, though. 87 gold on the Wild Riders and 64 on the Hawk Riders. Pretty darn good. I also want to point out that the Hawk Riders do actually benefit from all of Orion's buffs, as you can see here. They are counted as flying missile calves, so the charge, weapon strength, speed, and vigor loss reduction are all used on them. It does make me wonder as to what exactly his final army composition is. Of course, he'll have a ton of his Wild Riders as the sort of bulk, the infantry, as it were, of his army. But we can maybe intersperse a few Stag Knights in there, a few Hawk Riders, a few Sisters of the Thorn to act as support, and it can be an all-cav army that the very, very quick-moving Orion can still keep pace with. Anyway, Orion, you're going to head on into the forest encounter, and you can indeed grab it using the World Root stance. I guess Bretonnian's punished because we will face a foe in battle. A little bit unfortunate, but it's only minus 20, it's not a big deal. Though the plus 40 is great, I'm not willing to lose growth and control. Plus, we gain growth and control for doing this, so definitely attack them. Now let's see what we got. I maybe should have read that, but whatever. Ooh, this is a solid army, but they are getting ambushed, which is not so solid for them. Plenty of Knights of the Realm, bunch of field trebs, though they won't survive a charge from our Wild Riders. Alright, I'm excited about the fight. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. We invested in these Hawk Riders. Let's see how they work for us. Also, how they look. If I can get on a single unit. They're also pretty heavily armored. I do like the mix of the armor and those hawk-like helms that they have as well. It's quite nice. Let's see how effective they are, though I'm willing to wager it'll be very much so. 88 missile strength, 84 weapon strength, strong units. Anyway, as we usually do, the back line of the enemy will get hit by our Wild Riders. A single unit of Wild Riders will take out all of the enemy trebuchets, as we hardly need more than that, while the other one pins a few of the enemy knights in place. The knights and yeomen will try to charge uphill towards the arrows of the Glade Guard, losing many a unit in the process, I'm sure. Though I suppose the kills will cover them a little bit. We do have a staunch spear line as well, and the enemy is, well, starting to suffer quite a bit already. Orion has sought the enemy lord for a battle, who has charged our... oh, okay, the arrows are coming down on him as well. Who has sought our main line together with the peasants, rather than the knights. Perhaps a poor move on his part, as he's already down to 30% of his HP, and will be out of here soon. But it is an ambush battle, and these are always super quick, so it should hardly be surprising. More peasants attempting to make their way uphill, but this is an ugly, ugly situation for them. The enemy lord goes down. Their knights have been defeated by our wild riders by and large. I guess one more unit of knights errant still alive, but heading into the trees to meet the wild riders in battle was never going to end well for them either. And on top of that, they have no way to escape, as the wild riders are so much faster than these slow-moving, heavily armored knights. But we can get back to them later. In the meantime, we'll charge on through the enemy battle pilgrims and men-at-arms. And soon it will be the battle pilgrims alone who still stand. And in fact, by the looks of it, well, now there's a couple more units of men-at-arms out there, but the battle pilgrims are at the very least still fighting. As yet, our units of the Eternal Guard are very weak, though, so we do have to be careful with them, at least until we get them buffs, or, well, send them to another army, because Orion is not going to be wasting his rather limited skill points on buffing Eternal Guard when he is not going to be using them. But we'll definitely make an Eternal Guard-centered army, especially since we have the Eternal Wardens available to Orion as well, and their special units, which I believe will probably share their traits with Eternal Guard, so we'll see. Ooh, I love watching those, what was it, Hawks of something? Hawk's Talon. Arrows come down on the Battle Pilgrims, who are, as predicted, the last unit on the field, as they are unbreakable. Alrighty, but their fragile little human bodies will break instead, if not their spirits. Although I assume in death their spirits will be broken as well. Also, Orion is so damn big. Oh, that's gotta be scary. He is an absolute monster. But once again, loving the way that his armor looks much, much better. Anyway, with that, the last of the battle pilgrims will fall, and oh man. Are ripped apart by arrow fire, our wild riders, and our hawk riders as well, chasing down all the enemies, though I'm not 100% sure whether we actually need to do so or not. Why not make sure? And the hawk riders can at least get into a little bit of melee action, as they were using their arrows throughout the entire battle, though they still had plenty of arrows remaining. We'll see. In a non-ambush battle, how much arrows these guys have after sort of harassing an enemy army later on, as to whether we need to upgrade their arrows. Anyway. Alright, there we go. Very nice ambush, a decent bit of XP for our trouble as well, though the 104 losses, primarily, well, of this one unit of Eternal Guard, were, by the looks of it, more from our own friendly fire than from the enemies as well, simply because, by the looks of it, it looks like they got like less than 40 kills and we have 104 losses, so yeah, definitely a danger. Gotta be careful about that friendly fire, but it's probably not going to be such a big issue once we're a little bit more cav focused, or a lot more cav focused in this particular army. Looks like, ooh, damn, Wild Riders with shields, 38k. Huh. Interesting that the fact that despite that they do a lot more, well, I mean not a lot more, but, well, actually, no, wait, they do less, yeah, they should do less damage because they have shields than the regular Wild Riders. And yet they did a lot more damage, but it could be just this particular battle. I mean, we're gonna take the money, we did take a little bit of damage, but it's not anything concerning, and I just can't say no to 3k. The remnants of this army will survive, really? Huh, that's a little bit annoying because we don't want to chase them down. Free Hawk Companion. Well. It is more ammunition, or not, more range on Orion. He's not going to have War Dancers, so we'll give him the Hawk Companion instead. And control +2 for Province, though. You can have it. At least for now, in order to try to get a little bit of that extra control. Lovely. Orion, you can no longer move and will continue trespassing, assuming once again that the other Wood Elves don't want to do the whole Talabekland. No, I wanted the military access with Torgavon and Vidrioth, but no dice apparently. Border Princes. I'm tempted to declare war on the Pirates of Sartosa as well. We could probably get something for it. Are they close enough to start moving towards us? They are kind of close, admittedly. They could just travel like this. On the other hand, maybe. Oh, wait. Border Princes. Once again, I would like to see... You are trading with us. They are friendly with Clan Angrand, which isn't great, because Durthu's not gonna like that.
You have a proposal? We are willing to hear it.
Pirates of Sartosa. They are willing to give us about 2k for it. Yeah, sure, you know, I'll declare war on the Pirates of Sartosa as well. Why not? More war. All good. Talabekland, I don't think we'll deal with you as yet because Draca won't like it. At the very least, we won't declare war on you yet. Breton... Huh.
The lady grants you safe
Wait,
passage in the
this little tiny army is willing to give us 5k. The problem with it is that they'll just sit in our territory and raid us. Unless we can get one of these guys to declare war on them. Is it even an option? Bretonia. It is not really. It's basically a destroyed faction. I mean, I'd love to take the 5k, but I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea because they'll raid us, and by the looks of it, not disappear? We could try it. They might disappear. These guys don't seem to care about our military actions against them. By the looks of it, at least we're not getting any bonuses from fighting them, as odd as that may seem. 5k gold. Just for this. You know what? We'll try it once, and if they raid us, they raid us. It'll be annoying, but I actually do wonder whether... Wait, we still got the reward, right? We still did get the reward. Huh. Maybe they'll disappear next turn by themselves. Or maybe they won't. We'll find out. We got 10 turns. This may be a big mistake, but it also may not be. Who knows? Who knows? Alrighty, and what else do we have to do this particular turn? So Talsyn and the Yoke of Ages are building up, and these guys certainly don't have enough forces to do anything about it. You, Trelon, will probably want to get some additional forces, though, to be fair, there's not much you can get right now. But we should have at least a basic force here ready to defend, so at least for now, build a couple more Glade Guard. Of each type, I guess. Nothing crazy. Deluric, you're actually supposed to be following Mr. Orion around, so you are gonna go to the... I guess just go to the King's Glade for now. Wait, are you gonna trespass if you do that? I think we could just avoid it. Yeah, alright, go there, get a little bit of extra growth for King's Glade, because we'll be needing to upgrade it, and I believe we're good to end the turn. We have 2 points. Let's get you Obscuring Canopy for ambush success chance into Open Branches, and then we'll go into Quartermaster for an even cheaper army. Lovely. And we just need to go into a Magical Forest, which I don't believe... Huh. Well, actually, can we? Wait. Can you move right now? Oh, yeah, you can. We don't need to move you right now because it wouldn't do anything for us anyway, but we'll go to the Haunted Forest next turn because I think that's the one that we want to take. Lovely. Skip the rest of this, unassign skill points, and an outpost available with Arguelon. That does nothing for us. Let's end the turn. Alrighty, now we just gotta rack up enough cash to tech up a King's Glade in the Oak of Ages as fast as we possibly can. Just gotta get those additional units. Though Orion's army will be fairly strong already. 3 Wild Riders and 4 Hawk Riders by themselves are pretty darn good. Durthu will want us to join war against Clan Angrand. We do want to do that, but we're a little bit busy right now, so we're going to ignore them in favor of acquiring other magical forests, which we most definitely will want. And, I wonder where you were going. And I wonder where that Bretonia... Ah, so they are...
Has been issued, mighty lord. A great adventure beckons. Be wary, though, for while the potential rewards are great, so too are the perils.
Horn of the Wild, you say? Huh, we might be able to fight this immediately if we wanted to. We will probably take damage, but... okay, we'll give this a read or a look in a second. And what I would like... Mission issued. Enter military alliance. Sure. A faction destroyed. Krace, Sildra, Tor, Broken Axe. Okay, that's 3 less wars that we were having. I gotta get some more wars up and running. Right of Sotek is irrelevant. Capture many provinces is successful, apparently. Sure. Should we declare war on Barak Var? The other Wood Elves don't like them, but I'm not so sure it's a concern. Anyway, Haunted Forest is the way to go. I am curious about this. Did we not just peace out with them? Huh. Wait, we're still very high. Are you telling me they declare war on us every single turn? Huh, you could farm money by repeatedly piecing out with them like this, but we already did it once, and I think we're not going to do it again, because it feels like it's unintentional, you know? So take this out. I'm willing to do the 1. On resolve. The 1 piece out for money, I mean. And you can heal a little bit or get more money. Probably not enough healing to be concerned with, so at least captives. We need the cash. Bretonia destroyed. Not the same Bretonia, but yes. Enemy hero success chance. Good enemy killed in battle. Now, diplomacy. Real quick. Tilea wants a non-aggression pact. I think they won't survive the onslaught of Skaven, alas. What else do we have here? Becca's kind of... she must have lost her main stack, kind of close to confederating, actually. Burning Wind Nomads and Eastern River Lords we can ignore. We want their wars. They're helping us out. Orion. Did you level? Oh, he did level. Nice. Quartermaster. Is it necessary? I don't know, but I do want it. And I guess we'll save the rest of the points in order to try to get to Never-Ending Hunt, so we'll hold on if I remember to do so. You probably should get Tempered Rigor. I know that there's a bunch of, well... Praevanith Nah, start with Praevanith and then move to Tempered Rigor. Still gotta get that melee attack and defense. 12-12 for 3 points. Very, very solid. Orion. To the Deep Roots ye shall go. To the Haunted Forest. Yes. Lovely. And it's undefended. A sad day for the Caravan of Blue Roses, as this is a forest. Ooh. You could have taken it at a higher level if we waited 2 turns. Huh. Actually, can we? I'm not entirely sure. Do we automatically go back down to tier 1, or should we actually let some of the forests develop before we take them? Because they cost a lot of money, and they take 10 turns to build up. On the other hand, the wild hunt will end in 3 turns. We won't be able to move like we are right now, which might mean maybe we shouldn't. Anyway, Deluric, Warden of the Weald, yeah, that's fine. You are also going to go here to the Haunted Forest and follow Orion. Then I would like to take another look at the Glade Lords and the Lady of the Glades. Yeah, still not happy with any of those, and still not happy with any of those. Kind of on these as well. All right, so we'll just keep waiting until we get one I like. So Trellon, you're just stuck where you are. All right, Orion. Now, do we need to actually fight this? What do we have at this forest in terms of defenders? Very, very little. All right, who are you at war with? Lazargs, Thunderguts, and Clan Treechirk, but you're not allied with anybody. All right, declare war. Lovely. And we'll see if we are able to take... Oh, we'll take this at tier 1 anyway. Well, we're here. Too late. Too late. Maybe it would be advantageous to wait. I mean, I suppose we could kill everything around it, but then we won't be able to go back. 2 turns, eh?
I live to serve Ariel. I will make it so.
Maybe it's worth it. All right, fine. Don't go into encamp so that you can heal a teensy bit. We could go to Knobbly. Oh, actually, we can't really go to Knobbly Gorge. It's gonna take too long. Outside of World Roots, we just need to wait 2 turns, right? Actually, what we could do... Wait, I had an idea. You are at tier 2 as well. We have the potential for trying to get another one. But then once again, we should maybe allow them to grow a little bit. Let's take a look at the objectives. So, win 1 battle against the following race, Grand Cathay. Win 1 battle against the following race, Norska. Win 1 battle against the following faction, Bowmen of Orion. Ooh, don't like that. We are at war with these guys. They may be heading towards us. Probably gonna need you to defend. I wish it wasn't so expensive to get the basic Glade Guard, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And do that. And we got 3 turns until we can get more troops of different types, not just Glade Guard. I'm still on the fence as to whether it's worth waiting or not. We need tier 3. It might not be worth waiting. 2 turns. Tier 2. Nah, you know what? If we can capture it at tier 2, we can capture it at... We should try to capture it at tier 2. You guys stay here for now. Can you raid?
I share the forest's thoughts.
Yes, for very little, mind you, but we'll see. And if we get an army popping up here, that'll be good for us. And turn. I know that'll allow the Wild Hunt to end, so that'll mean Orion will be outside of Athel Loren, but we're where we want to be. Also, I suppose we should also declare war on Kugath while we're here. And whoever else is nearby, maybe try to ally with the Goldtooth Ogres. The Cathians should be happy, and there are a few units that are in the Cathian roster, which I do think will work nicely with ours. Not the guns, of course, but the drums, certainly. The drums give you plus 24 armor and a lot of our units. We want their armor to reflect their appearance, let's say. Skullcrag and Ziflin destroyed. Should have declared war on Ziflin. Another forest encounter.
Mage of the Fey Folk.
Eliminate the following lord. Probably are moving towards us, eh? Alrighty. And you're still stuck on the Glade Guard. Now, I assume that this has a conflict, but I want to see what's going on there just in case. What do we have here? Yeah, you will face a foe in battle. Again, tree spirits punished, and again, control +5. We keep punishing those tree spirits. I don't think you can face off against this foe. At least I doubt it. I also don't remember whether you can actually cancel this once it's set up, so I think we'll decide later. Let's not risk it. I mean, we could actually... Wait. Huh. A moment, we have the Wild Hunt still up. So, Orion, since you're waiting around, you can fight that and come back here, can't you? Yes, you can. Good. Good, Orion. Alright, we will send you to the Oak of Ages. Yes? Then we will have you go back, since you can't... I think you can't reinforce, just to double check. Orion, go here. Do we wanna... no. I was about to say pop into a commandment or whatever. And yes, indeed it is. Execute them, face a foe in battle. What kind of foe? A foe... Ooh. Oh, wow, this actually probably will be pretty tough. That's a lot of Treekin, and our Wild Riders won't be super effective against them. Well, that's an interesting one. Thank you to Athel Loren. Before we get started, I also want to make a quick note for those unfamiliar with how we do things. As usual on these campaigns, we will be doing a threshold type deal. So, if this particular episode reaches 500 likes and 70 comments, the next episode will be an hour-ish long as well, and then when we eventually drop below the threshold, we'll return to standard sort of 30-40 minute episodes. Archaon is the one to beat at 41, I think, episodes of a streak, but I don't think anybody's going to beat him. Lewin was the next at about 30 episodes, and it took a long time to beat him as well, at least until Archaon got there and showed him why he wins. Anyway, Trolio, die.
For Athel Loren!
Alrighty, for Athel Loren indeed, though it is Athel Loren against Athel Loren here, as we will be fighting. Now this massive force of Forest Spirits, 7 units of Treekin as well, and they are heavily armored and heavily resistant to everything, so it will probably take quite a bit of effort to bring them down. Since we can't build them ourselves yet until we tack up to them, I am a little bit jealous of this enemy army, as I'd love to get all 7 Treekin into one of our own forces. But eventually, inevitably, it'll happen. Anyway, the enemy Lord Otrolio is having a pretty bad time, down to about half HP, and while he is able to Earthblood if he needs to, I don't think he'll be able to deal with the amount of armor-piercing shots coming in from the Hawk Riders, as well as the occasional lance or spear of Kurnos from Mr. Orion. Down goes the Ancient Tree Man. Should have bent your knee to the king instead. Alrighty, the rest of our forces, including our Wild Riders, are hanging back. The reason for this is that the Treekin are rather slow at only 36 movement speed. Well, slow-ish. They're still faster than standard movement speed, but slow enough so that we can harass them with our Hawk Riders all the way to our army, and hopefully bring at least a few of them down. Besides, this way we can deplete our ammunition stores as much as possible, and like I was thinking about the last battle, see how much ammunition we have after harassing an enemy army all the way to the other side of the battlefield. Anyway, time for our Wild Riders to charge on through the Dryads, and I do mean through one unit and into another unit behind them. We probably don't want them to sort of stay in the battle, but after a few charges, we'll back off and then charge a different unit. Out here, the enemy Dryads are moving on in and are going to be facing off against our Eternal Guard, while all of the range units go specifically for the Treekin, and of course our Wild Riders continue smashing into the Dryads. There we go, this unit absolutely crushed, and in fact will break. Both of the units there will break. The enemy Treekin are not having a great time either, as the fire arrows from those starfire shafts are doing good work, while the Hagbane tips are slowing the enemy down as they approach. Down go the Treekin, and it looks like this unit will break before they reach our line, though the enemy has plenty more Treekin and Dryads where that came from. We are doing plenty of damage with our Hawk Riders. This unit and this unit have just been damaged by concentrated fire from the Riders. Orion and the Waystalker are also trying to hunt down Treekin as well, because our Wild Riders should have no problem dealing with enemy Dryad spam. But of course, well, actually the Wild Riders should be able to destroy things like Treekin fairly decently well as well. It's just that they're going to be much more effective at dealing with the enemy Dryads than the rest of our force will, so why not do it this way? Alright, and any isolated unit of Dryads will be quickly charged by multiple units of Wild Riders and destroyed. These 2 units of Treekin, by the looks of it, will be destroyed by the Hawk Riders long before they reach our battle lines. And other Hounds of Kurnos coming down from Orion, who is just breaking through the lines of Dryads in order to try to reach the Treekin and hold them back, or at least to shed some damage in melee. Alrighty, and still holding them back we are. We got a few waystones on our right flank, which is creating an impassable barrier for the enemy as well. So we don't have to worry about the right flank, while the left flank is protected by the Wild Riders, which are going absolutely wild in the background. Looks like another unit of Treekin is just about done. Too bad we can't steal them in the same manner that we might steal an artillery piece. In another faction, I mean. Might actually borrow some Eagle Claw bolt throwers from an allied high elven faction. Funnily enough, certain Wood Elves are perfectly willing to trade with Dark Elves as well. The Athel Loren, for example, in particular, are a little bit different from the Athel Loren Wood Elves. Ever since they seceded from Oathwan back in the day, the colonists of Athel Loren, of Loren hold themselves a little bit differently. They have a presence in Altdorf, and can just deal with the Imperials quite a bit more than the Athel Loren Wood Elves do, and they are willing to trade with Dark Elves and other factions as well, so they're kind of interesting. I do wish that that maybe Loren had been a separate faction as well, maybe playing slightly different from the Athel Loren Wood Elves. I suppose there's also the Sea Elves, the ones that are present in Marienburg and stuff like that, but, well, they aren't, I mean, yeah. They're not really a faction, per se, in the way that Loren is. I also can't remember what Lorenites are called. It's like Aeonir or something like that. There's a name for them as well. Again, while they are willing to confederate with the regular Athel Loren Wood Elves, they are a bit different. Anyway, with that, the enemy army will shatter all the tree kinfolks down by Hawk Rider and by Glade Guard and other range units, and only the Dryads still on the field. Since we've learned that we do have to destroy these armies, and destroy them we shall. Alright, just want to see the Hawk Riders come down. It is so weird when you go into slow motion and the game goes silent, though. Alrighty, there we go. Chase them down. The Hawk Riders are very, very strong in melee as well. They are very fragile in melee, but they can do a lot of damage because of their fairly high armor-piercing weapon strength, as well as the fact that they have splash damage. Anyway, we'll chase the rest of the enemy down off screen, but it looks like with the sheer amount of fast movers we have in this army, pretty much the entirety of the enemy force will be destroyed. Alright, very nice. By the looks of these forest incursions, though, and their relative strength, we'll certainly need a peacekeeping police, whatever force. Guardian force, garrison force in Athel Loren itself. We've got 2 Dryads that survived that, but otherwise we did well. We got 2.9k as a reward as well, just out of curiosity. 20k, 17k, and 17k, and then it looks like this time the Hawk Riders outdid the damage of the Wild Riders. Not surprising here, however, as the Hawk Riders were fighting for the entire battle while the Wild Riders were waiting, and we had to have somebody deal with the Treekin, and the armor-piercing shots of the Hawk Riders were able to deal with that. Bit of a shame to bring other forest spirits down, but I suppose we can say that these are the Get of Coadil, escaped from their prison in the Wildwood, and well, this had to be brought to kneel before the King in the Woods and release captives. Or I suppose this particular iteration of the King in the Woods, Orion is a different guy every single year, essentially. Well, it's the same guy, sort of, with a different personality because a different sacrifice was used. But anyway, for a Spirit Royal Standard Bearer, I think we already have one of these on Orion, but I do want to double check. Because it's additional campaign movement range. I forgot what that was. We don't have a Royal Standard Bearer. Well, we should. Chance of interception, plus 20%, that's not bad. We don't need the Slaneshi reductions right now, so I think we'll forgo that in favor of the Royal Standard Bearer, and then we'll see about the other stuff after. Also, man, once again, we've been quite unlucky with items in this particular campaign so far, but we'll take the Shrieking Blade, because it gives magical damage or magical attacks to Orion's ranged attacks. Next, we've got... Okay, wait, let me just see here. We got 2 more turns of the Wild Hunt, so we still want to head back to the forest, but I guess... Wait, you can leave for a turn. Yes, we can still teleport next turn. Dilaric, go into Kingsglade, or at least near Kingsglade. Orion... I mean, you're damaged, but are you so damaged that you can't fight your quest battle? Are we going to get a better shot? And ooh, just out of curiosity. Yeah, these guys are willing to do the same thing. And peace out. You know what, you guys let me know how you feel about peacing out with these guys. I'm not sure that it's intentional behavior, but I just don't remember what happened last time I played the Wood Elves. On the other hand, more money earlier means more advanced units earlier, which I'm pretty into the idea of, so there is that. Anyway, you Stay here. Orion, we're going to pop you into Kingsglade in a second, but let's level you up and see about this quest battle. The fact that we're damaged might mean it'll be a little bit tougher, which is good. Oh, we are, however, going to save your points. And Dodan. Still go for Fleetfinger as we are wanting the Prey of Anathrema. We have not unlocked any regiments of renown as yet, but are soon to do it. Let's also double check Diplo. Really? Torgavon, Vidrioth? Oh, we're just gonna have to confederate them. They don't want to do the thing. Wood Elves. A little rebellious faction. Although I suppose when it's Wood Elves in particular, them being willing to peace out may be actually somewhat sensible. The rest of you I don't think we care about. We could declare war on Heinrich Kemmler. There's not too much to do here. I'll probably check the list of potential war declarations between the episodes. Frankly, we should probably do Poxmakers and Disciples. Although the Disciples are still too close. They just march on through. Although they are fighting a lot of dwarfs right now. Ain't so bad, but they really don't like us either. You know what? I'm still gonna declare war on them. Declare war. I gotta have as many war declarations as possible. And then there was somebody else. Oh, Kugeth, who I have lost sight of. Barrow Legion. You know what? I don't want to try to protect Paravon right now, so we're going to have to ignore that. Alright, now, Reichland, are you fighting any new Norskins that we are not fighting? We've already declared war against the Scaling. No. Alright, we already used them to declare war against all of their enemies. I wish I remembered who I wanted to declare war otherwise, other than Kugeth. Maybe we'll do Kugeth right now. Yes. Declare war. Good. The Gold Tooth should appreciate that, and that's a lot of wars we got going on, but, you know, cheap armies. That's the idea. And how about heroes? We got any? No dice. Alright, now we are going to Warren of the Wild Hunt. Don't know what the reinforcements are. Could be concerning, but hopefully not as concerning. And we should be able to casualty replenishment rate to full. Anyway. Dark news reaches the court of Athel Loren. Shadows loom on the outskirts of the forest, and the Waystone fence is threatened. Reports reach the king that a herd of beastmen slipped through the perimeter and defiled another Waystone before sinking back into the undergrowth. Orion and his scouts detect the foul and pestilent aura of dark magic at the site of the beastman raid. An aura that could belong to only one beastman that Orion knows of, Morgur. Rallying the Wood Elves to his side, he pushes onward to find the enemy and sate his bloodlust. As the elves edge forward, the path closes in around them, and the moment of battle draws near. Away we go. And that'll give us a proper weapon. Reinforcements expected are the concern, and if it is Morgur, I assume that he'll be leading the reinforcements. Let's hope it's nothing too crazy, or actually, let's hope that it is something too crazy, as it'll give us a good fight. Go. The herd, and Morgur with it, had no idea that Orion and his warriors had located and infiltrated their secret beast paths, and so the elves descend upon them with pride and vengeance in their hearts. However, they are deep within enemy territory now and do not know from which direction further beastmen may come to aid their brothers and forestall elven vengeance, and so Orion must be swift.
These beasts call themselves hunters. Ha! Do they not know they face Orion, master of the wild hunt? Their auras cannot protect them now, for I am charged with the spirit of Kurnos. Rage and destruction flow through me. Fall upon them as the howling winds fall upon the winter leaves. Show them that nothing can stand before the fury of the storm!
Alright, here we go. We've fought Bretonnians, we've fought Forest Spirits, and now it's time to fight some Beastmen. Sort of all of the factions that you're liable to find around Athel Loren. Of course, there are greenskins in proximity as well, and some dwarfs, but yeah. Lorefully the things that Athel Loren tends to have the most contact with. Anyway, we're going to start the battle of the quest battle off, I should say, by focusing down the enemy Beast Lord here, Cloven Blackhorn, with most of our units. We will back away our Hawk Riders lest they get focused down by the Ungor Raiders, but it shouldn't matter over much as the enemy Lord is nearly done for. The enemy army, the Gors and Ungors, are approaching our main line now and are starting to be riddled with arrow fire from the Glade Guard, and will probably suffer quite a bit of damage as they close the distance. Orion, very, very speedy, 102 speed here, will back off, and it looks like the enemy Lord will at last get assassinated, brought down by the Hawk Riders in the background. And that's a big old Beastman bonfire in the background by the looks of it. Damn. Assuming that's a Beastman bonfire. How crazy looking. Huh, actually, that might be a Wood Elven bonfire. I mean, I assume because of all the crazy spiky stuff that it had something to do with the Beastmen, but there are still Waystones in there, although I suppose that could also be... But they're undefiled Waystones by the looks of it, so I think that is ours. But I suppose that's the nature of being a neutral faction. Sometimes you gotta have evil-looking, spiky stuff as well. Anyway, Orion on the front lines now, holding back some Gors so that they don't charge into our relatively fragile Eternal Guard line, and waiting for the arrival of the enemy Chaos Spawn. We also have the Hawks Talons coming down on the enemy as they move on in. And speaking of moving on in, reinforcements have arrived. Not Morgur, however, though we will be fighting Morgur eventually, as it's part of the campaign, but a Cygor in the background. The Wild Riders will give chase to it, and of course it will fight back, and I'm sure knock a couple down, but Wild Riders are pretty darn solid at this sort of thing. They're relatively small, and a lot of them can hit these guys at the same time. Looks like the Cygor is already at half HP, and the escorting units of Centigors that were with it are pretty much down as well. Unfortunately for us, the units of enemy Chaos Spawn have made it towards our main line and are fighting and heavily damaging several of our units of Eternal Guard. And of course, any range fire coming in, whether it be from the Hawks or from our Glade Guard, are going to be dangerous to our units of Eternal Guard as well. Fortunately, though, the Wild Riders charge back in and obliterate that unit of Chaos Spawn, and with it, and with the rest of the enemy Gors and Ungors destroyed, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Damn. The combination of Wild Riders and Hawk Riders is very, very nasty. I'm actually quite happy with the Hawk Riders in this army, and we might actually keep them in it. The thing is, we probably do want some range support, not just sort of melee units for his army, so I kind of like them. Plus, you gotta love these guys. They're such a fun unit. Alright, there we go. Honestly, nothing crazy in that particular battle. I was expecting more reinforcements, but at the very least, we still got a fairly nice fight. A little bit of cash versus a little bit of healing, though I suppose the healing isn't super relevant because the reward will give us basically max amount of healing anyway. Then we still have no caster, so abduct captives is probably not going to be super useful. Take the money. I know it looks like we have a lot of money, but it isn't really the case. And there we go. Horn of the Wild Hunt. And you give us some more interception chance, a little bit of melee defense, a little bit of additional speed, acceleration, and charge bonus to continue buffing up our cap. Though, this is probably not quite as useful as a healing potion would be in the same slot, but all good. Once again, we don't have a channeling stand, so I guess we will still return to Kingsglade, which will make the army even cheaper, for at least the turn. Armor of silvered steel and quest completed. Oh, lovely. And Orion has not reached rank 10, but he can get another point in Quartermaster for even cheaper units. Alright, and by the looks of it, we'll be able to afford the upgrades immediately as soon as these upgrades finish, which is exactly what we want and why we keep saving. Alright, the rest of you, stick around, would you? Double check Diplo once more. Sometimes it changes as you fight, but it doesn't look like it did here. Actually, we didn't change the power balance anywhere, so that does make sense. So, we'll end the turn. We have one more turn remaining of the Wild Hunt, so we should still be able to capture the Haunted Forest, and we just have to watch out and make sure that we build up enough other units so that we can still guard this place. Let's do 2 more Starfire Shafts, 1 more Hagbane Tip, and just gotta get this army to be a full stack, and get them a proper lord to lead them, not one that increases upkeep, though. I'm pretty sure that we should be able to get better lords than these, but we'll see. I'm sure they exist. Alright, let's see what we got here. Hopefully another forced encounter doesn't immediately pop up, because we're busy. Or at the very least Orion is. Though I suppose it's not like it takes a very long time for the Wild Hunt to be back up and running. We are also, however, at war with Morger, who will probably move his way over here as well. And we do have to be careful without Orion's presence to deal with him. Marius Lightdwarf, non-aggression pact. For now, I'm gonna say no. We'll probably be friends with a bunch of the Imperials, but while the other Wood Elves are not yet confederated, and we want to wait on it. And they'll attack us, and again, ooh, it would have been bad if they had besieged us out of resolve, and take the healing this time. Alright. Consider Confederation. Hello. Hello. Cult of Exodus destroyed. Eastern River Lords destroyed. Wood Elves destroyed. That's 3 less wars than we just had. Ambusher discovered. Enemy killed in battle. Wraiths of the Frozen Heart and Winter Heart Guards available in terms of regiments of renown. Technology researched. Bonus versus large for all Elf Cavalry, Hawk Rider, and Great Eagle units, which is a significant power-up for Orion's army. Not that he needed it. As second front, recruit an additional Lord. Next up, we have a new tech available. We got ambushes. I think we gotta go with Vol the Maker, though. The missile resistance for all is pretty solid, and the armor, which we certainly need. Campaign movement range out of Eladriel, Lady of Mists. And ooh, income from post-battle loot from Nethu, Keeper of the Last Door. Huh. Am I crazy, or is Nethu, somebody very similar, a Hekaran Lord as well, or God. It's also Mathan Lord of the Deeps, which is great. Ooh, upkeep reduction for all elf units. Hella. Oh, so many techs. I'm gonna say casualty or punishment. It's not for elves. Actually, let's take a look. Is there anything that's casualty or punishment rate faction wide? Aerith Kiel, the Pale Queen. So I guess if we go through Drakira and Eldrazor and on to Nethu, we can then peel off into Aerith Kiel. There's also Wisdom of the Eagle Lords, which will give us more vision. Oh, wait. Provides the line of sight over all magical forest regions. Technically, we already have this. Huh. And I guess we don't technically have any eagles right now. Frankly, this is kind of not a great one. You know what? Let's start with Vol, and then we'll probably go to Nethu afterwards. Like so. Orion. Okay, wait. We had Arguelon, Durthu, Wellity. Already ready for Confed. Oh, Draika, she's at minus 3.3. We could threaten her into it because it would work, but... I forget, do we ever get a mission for Confederating Arguelon? Let me just see here. I'm just wondering whether it might be better to... unlocks Confederation missions with Arguelon, but it's a tier 3, which would be in 15 turn... No, we still have 7 turns, so 23 turns, 22 turns. 22 turns is a long time to wait. I'm gonna say Confed. Wait, I want to see if the Waterfall Palace is, and that's a tier 2. I was wondering whether it would be heading to tier 3, in which case we would want to immediately, well, we would want to wait, but I guess we do this. Dreka's not dying, is she? It doesn't look like it. Probably lost her main stack. Alright, Junk Federation. Lovely. Alright, unfortunately all the other Wood Elves aren't going to be happy about it, but we do get a Durthu on field in a mere 7 turns. Alright, that's a fairly long time. But that'll be our Forest Army on field relatively soon. Lovely. Well, I guess we upgrade this to tier 3 immediately. We will also... Okay, we'll need to figure out what military structures we can and need to build here. Eri will give us the Eagles. We could also go Glade Riders in Orion's army. At least until we have access to fancier cav. I guess we have to just decide what is built where. We don't technically need the Deepwood camp here, unless we want to get another Waystalker, but I think for now we can wait. We can't build any of these as yet. Ooh, we 100% need to have the Tree Singers, Spell Weavers, Spell Singers, for the love of... and you have the Eternal Guard here as well. Alright, wait. What's the best way to do this? Ooh, wait, I also want to see Glade Lord. Okay, these still have not been swapped out, unfortunately, but it's okay, we got Durthu on field shortly. Just out of curiosity, did Durthu have any kind of heroes? No. He did have Ara here, who has Warden of the Weald and the additional growth that it offers, which ain't such a bad thing. Stay here, we'll pop you into Kingsglade next turn to continue the growth. Carrick Norn, you have the Foraging Groves. Out of curiosity, we probably should replace those with the Furs. I assume the adjacency bonus doesn't apply to these things. 75, at least I doubt it. Yeah, take the Furs. And we should probably send somebody to Carrick Asgras. Oh, I guess we could send Ara up there. Alright, either way, Orion, you have to do a thing, and that thing is you have to leave and go to the Haunted Forest once again. Yes. It is still essentially undefended and is now at tier 3, so I guess we will find out if we are able to take it at tier 2. You're gonna move in, like so, and this is a waste of our time, so we'll auto-resolve it. I'm sure that the Blue Roses have a full stack somewhere. They do have 5 territories, so they're doing pretty good, admittedly. Oh, are they fighting Kugath? Yeah, they're fighting Kugath and not fighting the Ogres. Oh, the Ogres probably won't like this. Well, that's their problem. We just gotta link up with Imric. I've grown pretty fond of him over the course of the over his extremely epic campaign. Still the best endgame that I think I've had in any campaign, just because it's so fun. Yeah, you're the one, so you are going to travel here to leech XP. Alright, right there. And Ryan, strike, Haunted Forest, auto-resolve, a little bit of damage, plenty of cash, and occupies seeding. Don't raise it. Will we take it at tier 2? Yes, we will, and we can upgrade it to tier 3 immediately, which will, when done, allow us to get the Nobbler Outpost. Beauty. Exotic Animal Tamer, Trainer, whatever. We will need to be able to defend the place, so we will go for the Guard wait. Is it this one or this one? 4 War Dancers for the Forest Lookouts. Yeah, I got the Forest Lookouts. And I guess in theory, while Orion is here, we don't technically need a military stuff. So, we'll double up on the defenses, because we may not have an army here, at least for a bit. At least until we can build one up. Forest Secured, Forest Spirit, Assured Assailant, Hunting Hound, great. Then we will probably want to build these. We'll eventually delete the military structures, but now is not the time. The defensive structures, and I guess we will forego building any of these here for now. We'll use Orion for this purpose. Alright, and speaking of Orion, he is going to switch back. He is at rank 10. We are trying to get to rank 12 for the never-ending hunt. I'd love to spend a few points on what he's got here, but we'll wait. Rain of Spines, solid. Solid buff for his army in terms of auto-resolve. Well, we'll see. If we're about to auto-resolve, we may want to deal with it. Alright, how are we doing back here? Trelon, go back to Kingsglade. And I guess sit there for now. Back to Waterfall Palace, which currently has the Celithoid Gallery and the Haunted Groves. We will still probably want to get at least the basic War Dancer buffs. So 4 War Dancers for a single slot is pretty good. Frankly, I'd probably build one in each one of these places, just in case. Eventually, once we're surrounded by allies and the major threats around Athel Loren are destroyed, we will deal with it. Yeah, we'll definitely build the Deepwood camp here. We got the Forest Spirits coming up here. We want to build the muster store. Wait. I guess we could build that here instead. Still need this. Alright, well, we'll take a look at that in a bit. The other thing that we want to do, other than diplomacy, which we still do want to do, northern provinces. Ah, hello. Alright, northern provinces. We will join your war against the Blessed Dread and the Puppets of Misrule. It's a lot more wars. They could befuddle our minds, but it's probably worth it. And go defensive alliance with you, northern provinces. Trade agreement. Good. Alright, and hopefully that'll keep them powerful and help them out a little bit. Next up, Wargrove of Woe. Our relationship with you is dropping, which will probably decrease our chances of confederating you. We could declare war on Ostland and Ostermark. Of course, the other... You know what? Let's do it. We can always cancel it later. We don't want to power Draika up, though. We could take her money to make her a little bit weaker. Maybe the agreement... won't be so bad. Military access. Don't bother with the trade. Just go for the money. Like so. Alright. Ooh, -2. You know what I should have done? I should have tried to get her to declare war on another faction. Might have been able to confederate her. Oh, we don't have a cooldown on this. Interesting. Anyway. Anybody else? You know what? I'll probably take another look at the list of potential war declarations between the episodes, as it's a bit of a hassle to do it in this manner. Trelon, don't bother building anything. We got 2 turns. And I suppose if we send Ara over there, then we can, you know, have Ara build stuff. Alright, the rest of this is good. So, Garrison Lord, non-movement, unassigned skill points, outpost available, yes. Nangao. Definitely Nangao. Construct outpost. Sure wasn't so expensive, but we're looking to pick up a little bit more cash as we go. Miao Ying, try not to die here. Did we have vision of the western provinces? Wait, where's Cathay? Grand Cathay, no western provinces. I'd love to declare war on their enemies as well. Alright, that's it. Once again, it's a between the episode thing. End the turn. Alright, going pretty okay so far. Just gotta make sure that we clear the heathlands around the Haunted Forest and try to pop that ritual as soon as possible. Ikit Club will declare war on us, and we're not going to call our allies to help. This was certainly expected. Frankly, we would have declared war on him ourselves eventually, so... I want to send a hero down through Nehekara and then down through several of these locations just to sort of identify factions nearby. Hopefully Orion will get close enough to Imric to see him and then declare war on a bunch of his enemies. Bearsenling destroyed, Calidor destroyed, another couple of potential wars gone. Confederation between Angrand and Hearn, and the Wild Hunt, alas, slumbers. So, we're stuck here, Orion. We're stuck. You are going to proceed to Knobbly Gorge. Next turn. And I see nobody around that could catch you, so Deluric, you're going to follow. Alright, intercept you, that's the one I was looking for. Alrighty, who's up next? Trelon, do we have any armies moving in? Enemy armies, that is. I don't see one as yet. Although there's a decent likelihood that Karakazor attacks Grimhold. We could always try to give it to the Imperials here, potentially. Oh, also... Ah, damn. I was hoping the Draika might be willing to confederate, but alas, not the case. Well, she's probably rebuilding her stack, so we'll probably just need another stack. You! Huh, I wonder if you could get intercepted by Ren. I suppose we don't care whether you live or die, so it's not a big deal. It's the principle of the thing. Averland doesn't actually care about us being at war with several of your Imperial allies. We could do a non-aggression pact with you. Actually, funnily enough, it seems that... The Draca doesn't actually dislike Averland. I mean, if we are intending to maintain relative friendly relations with the Empire, we could probably do this. Let's do that. And if they die, they die. Alright, like so. Alright, who's up next? Exiles of Nehek we might want to be... trading with, but maybe a little bit later. Whoa! You lost the Witchwood... Oh, for the... Oh, that's not good.
Do we have to talk to them?
They have 2 territories remaining and they've lost the Witchwood. Okay, next Wild Hunt, that's where we're going. I was not expecting them to have lost it. I guess they got destroyed by the Cowman. Huh, and yet they're not willing to confederate. That's not good. Alright, wait. There is a way to bypass this. We have a mission, or a mission should come available. Heralds of Ariel, but it's at tier 3. Alright, they better not die. Hopefully their army is going to be too tough to destroy. I don't particularly like the recruit defeated legendary lords mod, so we won't be doing that. Hollow, I guess is the thing to build here.
I will shape this.
Tier 3, man, it is ludicrously expensive, and we'll still need to get enough money to be able to upgrade the yoke to the next tier afterwards, but nonetheless. Alright, we will also build the... not the guard platform, but the forest lookouts. I mean, 2,000 gold for 4 war dancers is pretty darn solid. And I guess we're going to start on the Roots of Gyran. We need the spellcaster available for Orion. I really strongly wish that it didn't cost our very limited growth, but we gotta do it. Unless we do it at the Waterfall Palace instead. I mean, I guess we could build it here once the place is grown. I think we're going to want to collect the income for the additional growth, at least in Waterfall Palace. Speaking of Waterfall Palace, you will need to build the Craftsman's Tree.
Tree singer.
Yeah, we won't have room. Alright, meaning we'll have to build the Roots of Gyran here. I wanted to build the Cav building, but we can build it elsewhere, I suppose. So, Roots of Gyran. Go. Frankly, this is the only way to get capacities for these guys, I take it, and thus we'll need to build one of these pretty much everywhere, won't we? There's a bunch of stuff that we want to build pretty much everywhere, but anyway. That's good. We are running out of cash. I did say that it isn't nearly as much cash as it might look to be. And let's take a look at what's going on here before we end the turn. Nothing. We could uncollect your income, but I'm not going to do that. Although, the Vampiric Corruption does need to drop. You know what? Allow it to grow a little bit and uncollect the income. It's 1,000 extra gold per turn we're losing. But a few more war declarations will do it for us. I was about to declare war on the Dissenter Lords of Jin Shen, but that is unnecessary. Hello. Skull Smashers. Torgavan, join war. Against Skull Smashers. Yes. Alright. Between the episodes. Offices. Do we need to do anything there? I don't think so. Skip, and turn. Alright. And once again, we do have forced encounters on the way, I'm sure. Oh, I forgot to move the... Lord up here. I did. Nah, all good. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We can move next turn. It's not like we had the money to recruit this turn anyway, so not super relevant anyway. Huh. Is Carcassonne going to reclaim the Massive Forecow? Bleak holds one piece, but we do not. Gotta watch out for a nuke-filled stack of Skaven at a Scryer as well. Burning when Nomads destroyed, Clan Verms destroyed, more factions if we were at war with gone. We'll have to find new ones. Orion. What do we have here? Nobody's close to the Haunted Forest, and the defenses are starting to get pretty solid there. Would we be able to have Deluric occupy Nobly Gorge?
Spellweaver of Athel. We fight.
Actually, Outer Resolve wasn't hurting our basic units so much, but it's okay. And clear the Heathland or occupy it? Well, occupy it for now. We might trade it. Hello. Hail of Doom Arrow. Nice. We might trade this to... We might trade this to somebody like these guys. Oh, they're visible now. They are indeed visible, and they are at war with the Jiangxi rebels. Well, we're at war with them now as well. And non-aggression pact. Wait. I was hoping for the trade agreement. Wait, how much money do you want for the military access? 3,000? Not gonna happen. We'll do this instead. Alright, and try to be friends with them. If Gold 2 declares war on us, they won't be happy. But we can always trade them some stuff. You, Orion, are gonna go to Shambletown. Shambletown and Shambles in a second. And occupy this as well. For a little bit more damage to us, but only on our basic units. And occupy Heathland as well. For now. If we could trade this to the ogres for an alliance, it might be good. They don't like the past treaties with Wood Elves in Bretonnia. -20. Okay, we shouldn't do that anymore then. I did not expect these guys to not like it. We checked whether the other guys cared about it, and they didn't seem to, so... Yeah. We are also probably... I mean, we could go for the growth for all provinces and casualty replenishment in the province. There is something to be said for it. We do also have the sacrificial grounds, which give us income from post-battle loot plus 20% in adjacent areas. How much healing does this offer again? Plus 2%. It would help. It's still a lot of money, though. You know what? I'm gonna have to wait on that one just for a little bit. Though I suppose if we make an alliance with these guys, then, just out of curiosity, how much is Nobley Gorge worth to you? Not worth a defensive alliance, but if we build a building there, it might be. Maybe? We'll see. Ara. Just the one Ara. You are going to the Oak of Ages, so that you don't trespass. Alrighty, and I want to see if these have been properly milled yet. Upkeep for Regiments of Renown. Still kind of meh. I'd be a little bit more concerned if we didn't have Durthu on the way in a mere 5 turns. Oh, when the Wild Hunt comes back up, we might have to send Durthu up to the Witchwood to reclaim it. Gotta prevent these guys from dying. But anyway, I'm getting distracted as I usually do. Trelon, stay here. Don't bother recruiting anything else for now. We should get you some Eternal Guard, just as a sort of very basic temporary army. You know what, let's build up the Deepwood camp here. And build it up so that you can get some more powerful range units, and we'll obviously just sort of swap them between various units. Waterfall Palace is not ready for any growth, which means, unless I'm mistaken, we should be ready for another end turn. And neither are you. Alright, yes, that means end turn. What's your defenses like again? Pretty solid. Frankly, you might not need the guard platform, but, you know. It'll help if you get attacked while we're not present. So skip, and turn. Alright, I really want to get that battle against these zombies of the Blue Roses if we can find a proper stack of them. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Elspeth, what you want? You want a non-aggression pact? That one I think I'm fine with. They are relatively close, and frankly, if we give them all of this territory, they can use it. Non-aggression pact. Hopefully Drika doesn't hate that we did that. It's a distinct possibility, admittedly. Alright, and I still don't see Gorsty's main stack. Surprisingly, not moving towards reclaiming his capital, despite the fact that our army isn't technically there. Sacrifice to Mathland, Broken Nose destroyed, meaning... Okay, wait, there's two things here. First of all, winter arrives at last, which means we can pop Larime, control income from buildings, and, most importantly, constant casualty replenishment rate. I love the growth, I really would, but the casualty replenishment rate is just too good to pass up. At least until we get casters to fulfill that purpose. Orion, you're going to go right here to the edge of the territory. Like so, and if it isn't Gorsty boy. Alright, I'm willing to entertain ending one more turn in case Gorst actually attempts to fight us. As I was okay, this episode is very much running along, but I love fighting the undead, and I love playing the undead, as you guys may have heard through many a campaign before. Specifically the vampire camps. Anyway, you're going to Waterfall Palace, rather. And we do have our first building, which is going to be in a craftsman's tree. And you're fine, and you can't get your hero up and running yet, and you can't build anything fancy as yet either, but that's all good. Oak of Ages, we got 4 turns. We need to get 33k before we get there. It's a tall order. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out. Also take a look at Confeds. Still no dice. Heralds of Ariel still at 2 territories. Very concerning. There's probably other stuff to take a look. Oh, how much money are you willing to give us for this? 5.3k for a single war, for a single piece rather. The Greybeard's Prospectors. Wait, out of curiosity, join war against the Greybeard's Prospectors. It's the principle of the thing. We must always be at war with the Greybeard's Prospectors. It is necessary on this channel. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll peace out with you, and then we'll redeclare war on them in 10 turns. I'm gonna be a little bit of that going on throughout the campaign. Ooh. Winter hurts our forest spirits, but you know what? That's not such a bad thing. I do wonder if it includes Hawk Riders, though. Huh. Orion is much weaker during winter. Yeah, well, that's life. But, well, the Hawk Riders aren't getting damaged, so I think we're still okay. Speaking of Orion, we are 1 point or 1 level away from a never-ending hunt, so just got to try to push onward towards it. You... range +5 for Hero's Army, but now we're still going for Prey of Anathrema, so piercing shots and into Prey of Anathrema, and then I guess we want Tempered Rigor. Charge bonus when it's... Oh, I didn't realize the Waystalker would give us additional charge bonus. Even more charge bonus on a cab-centric army. I was going to take this guy out of this army, but now things have changed. All right, let's get the charge and stuff like. I guess in theory he shouldn't be fighting in melee ever. Also, Deluric, you cab leveled up, meaning you're the wrong one. Ha. I didn't realize. You know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing. We were going to use you as a recruiter, and I should have named you as such, because the this isn't great unless we get a... Huh, actually we might still be able to use you in your current state. You know what? Get Wonders of the Forest. Here's the thing. We could also have a Spellsinger follow her, and still make use of the Warden of the Weald. Maybe. I don't know whether we'll have room. Deluric also has the Master of Supplies, which does give us income from post-battle loot increase. Is there anything here? Upkeep production for cab. Is there anything here that would be useful to us? Not really. Jorthu's probably going to get one of these, and we'll get the Spirit of the Hunt, unless I give that to Draca. But anyway, assuming Draca survives. Let's end the turn. I want to see if these guys are willing to fight in a second. Let's just take a quick look at the trees. Arguelon, you're good. Haunted Forest, you're good, or at the very least we're not doing anything else with you. And a little bit more growth. I'd love to collect them money, but for now. At least we're growing relatively quickly right now, and I'm very happy about it. The reason being that the quicker we grow, the more advanced units we'll be able to get relatively early. Just gotta make sure that we can upgrade the big tree at tier 3 as soon as we can. Helmengorst does not run. Alright, so I'll allow this particular episode to go just a little bit longer as we want to fight Gorsty. Unfortunately, we'll most likely pick up the plague while we do it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Peace treaty with Ostland. Not while Draca hates you, and just generally not right now. Alright, double check the Draca Confed, the Center Lords of Jinshen gone, Corun and Bastan confederated, and other whispers in the woods, meaning we will need to recruit shortly. Bowman of Orion, Oath of Sigmar and Drakenhof Conclave, yeah, that's fine. Birds of Shanlin don't like us, and yeah, Wargrove of Woe rebuilt their army, unfortunately. Oh, good. Oh, we'll get her.
Lord of the Asray.
Do we want to go into Force Calls? Hello, we'd be able to fight Kugatham, I was about to say right now, but I guess immediately after. Alright, Deluric, you, once again, will leech XP.
So I dance.
Orion, I guess you're going into Forest Calls.
I will make it so.
This isn't their last territory, is it? It is their last territory, meaning tab Taber will
You have
probably besiege us here afterwards, which is a bit of an annoyance.
could never betray Nurgle.
But nonetheless, to the scrap towers we go. I wanted this fight, and this is the fight that we're going to have for this particular and episode. Lots of undead here. Gorsty Boy himself, he does have a single unholy lodestone, a bunch of those crypt horrors, which are not to be underestimated, and doggos could be dangerous to our basic glade guard, but otherwise I'm sure we'll be fine. One more time, go.
Ever onward.
Alrighty, here we go. If 3 battles were not enough to have more variety, we got the undead to fight now as well. I think this is what's going to make the Wood Elves a very, very fun campaign, and just generally speaking, the fact that we'll be able to fight all over the world and have so damn many different enemies to fight pretty much from the get-go, as we can clearly see, is gonna be great. Anyway, we start the battle off with our Vanguard deployed units of Wild Riders charging on through and ripping apart those extremely fragile Dire Doggos. Though the Dire Doggos are a very fragile unit, they are one of the bigger threats on the field here, simply because they might be able to run around and get towards our missile and melee infantry. Though, speaking of, we have them nestled in a very nice little nook and completely protected from rear and side charges or flanking attacks, which is quite nice, you got to admit. For those who remember the Elspeth campaign, you may remember that we had one of the toughest, very, very nasty battles in the campaign here in this particular nook on this particular map, where we were basically overrun and just managed to pull through with, I believe it was a Great Unclean One summoned right in the middle of our missile formation. Was a very fun fight, and I have fond memories of it. Anyway, up in the sky, we have switched from armor-piercing arrows to multi-shot arrows as we try to go after the enemy bats, who, by the looks of it, will attempt to close the distance. I don't think that's going to go so well for them, as Hawk Rider or Hawk and Hawk Rider should be able to rip bats out of the sky in droves, and by the looks of it, they do. We see not a single hawk dropping, but all the bats fall and crumble away. Once again, we got splash damage on these guys and high damage. And this is not the type of thing that the bats want to deal with. Lovely. With the bats out, there is no longer a threat to our range units, and frankly, we probably will want to get our infantry into combat as well. Of course, our Wild Riders are still doing their thing in the background, annoying units of zombies and skeletal warriors with a charge or two, backing off, and then doing it all again. Over in the background, we're also going to try to focus down the enemy Corpse Cart and Gorsty Boy himself, and have switched to armor-piercing shots on the Hawk Riders, specifically for these. Alright, about a third of the HP gone from the Corpse Cart. Orion, ooh, by the looks of it, the enemy has charged him with a unit of Dire Wolves and the White King. The White King, unfortunately for him, however, does get stopped by the prey of Anathrema that we got on our Waystalker, and ooh, nice charge from Orion, who is much, much faster than the enemy White King, who will quickly get brought down. Over on the left flank, once again, our Wild Riders have returned to the fray and have now surrounded the enemy unit of Crypt Horrors, or one of the 2 enemy units of Crypt Horrors here. They get brought down rather quickly, the Wild Riders completely ignoring Ghoul and Skeletal and Zombie to destroy the elite unit in their midst, and then simply back off. The other unit of Crypt Horrors not in particularly good shape either, as they get hit from above with the units of Hawk Riders. And it looks like those armor-piercing arrows, though the armor-piercing not super needed here, will bring the Crypt Horrors down as well. Very, very nice. Now let's see how we're doing. We backed off our units of Wild Riders again. And it does look like at least some of the zombies will reach our main line, especially if we draw closer to them. Gotta let them try at least. Gorst getting hit with all of those arrows and lances from Orion as well, all the way from back there, and by the looks of it, he's not going to be able to support his main line as he begins to crumble and perishes for good. I don't imagine we'll be seeing him again, but it's his defeat trait that we want. Definitely one of the best defeat traits. Well, for certain factions. Especially in the early game. Anyway, it looks like the enemy army is making their way towards us. The shielded sword and board units of Graveguard in particular will reach our units of Eternal Guard. I do like seeing them hold the hill like this, however. Always feels appropriate to hold a sort of hill, like one being surrounded by the undead, doesn't it? It's the classic sort of thing. Wild Riders, of course, still causing absolute havoc, bounding around. Those stags just they seem like they're having so much fun. Alrighty, and the charge into the back line of those poor Graveguard means that said Graveguard are pretty much out. And with them out, we can charge into any other unit that is not yet crumbling away into the Crypt Ghouls, who are extremely fragile themselves. And we'll take much damage from those bonkers Wild Riders. And we don't even have buffs on the Wild Riders as yet either, so they're going to get even stronger as we go. Anyway, with that, the balance of power shifts fully in our favor. Gorst is done, all of his elites and support units are off field now, and it is simply a matter of destroying the remaining enemy units, which are already crumbling away. Fill them with arrows, fill them with spears, and destroy them. Aldrazor, bless your blades indeed. The Eternal Guard of the Wood Elves pray to Aldrazor, the Lord of Blades, god of duelists and gladiators, rather than Cain, which is pretty interesting for the Wood Elves. Fun little fact: the Sisters of Slaughter of the Dark Elves are also adherents of Aldrazor as well. Even though they look very similar to the Witch Elves, due to their garb or lack thereof, but they are gladiators, so it's a little bit different. Anyway, with that, the last of the enemy will melt away, and the balance of power will shift. Well, obviously. There is no balance of power when the enemy is completely dead. Another decisive victory, and this is the battle I wanted to end the episode, so I'm very happy that we got it. Alright, there we go, a pretty darn eventful, episode in general, I suppose, if I do say so myself. Lots of action against various different enemies, as well as the culmination of it, in fighting Gorsty and a horde of undead, which the Wild Riders had a lot of fun with. 53k and 55k on the two without shields, certainly making good use of the charge. And in terms of gold value, the Hawk Riders weren't far behind, as they were targeting the Crypt Horrors, the Corpse Cart, and the Hellman as well. And Orion, no slouch, 23k damage, though we're not building him out to be a fighter as yet. More importantly, though, occupy the Heathland for now. We don't want the strategic threat to screw us over. Casualty replenishment rate plus 15. It would have been unfortunate for Gorsty to die before we acquired this, as Orion in particular really needed that trait. Frankly, everybody on our team needs the trait, but, Orion had to have it. It was the second reason why we wanted to potentially be out here. There's a forced encounter here. Well, frankly, it being close to Orion may not necessarily be a bad thing. In fact, may be a good thing. And hey, we even got an Armor of Fortune as our reward. Well, isn't it lovely? Armor of Fortune for Orion, of course, fortunate as he is. And we will get, Assyrian's Command. Bonus versus large for the entire army. Only for melee, mind you, but that'll work. Then, upkeep reduction for the Wild Riders, making his army even cheaper. Probably the main thing that we want to get. He has some decent stuff. The ambush success chance plus 50% is also going to be quite nice. But we'll start with this. part the bows, and we'll get him more Wild Riders as fast as we can, and we're certainly taking up towards it rather quickly. Never-ending Hunt will be the next thing that we gain as well, and that'll allow Orion to not be weaker during winter. Plus, the cooldown reductions on the Hounds in particular are going to be swell, and campaign movement range for raisin places. Lovely. And yeah, I will think about whether we want to actually make use of these or just trade it to sort of Goldtooth and the Western provinces. I'd like to prevent Goldtooth from declaring war on us, so maybe if we declare war on the Legion of Asgore and Karakazorn, that might, well, he's not going to be super happy about it, but nonetheless.
Decent bargain.
Nonetheless. I'd like to potentially have him as a trading partner, but if we don't, we don't. We can always destroy some of his stuff later and just give it to the Western provinces, for example. Anyway, folks, with that, we are obviously out of time. This episode went along, but it was, as I said, quite eventful. And oh, Yoke of Ages reached 102. That's nice as well. That's the first level. Or, second level, I guess, which gives us a little bit more growth, a little bit more upkeep reduction, and we just gotta keep the forest growing. And beautiful. Anyway, next time we will get our second army up and running. Durthu will make his debut, as in 3 turns he's coming. Just gotta make sure that we get him some forest spirits, and specifically get that tribal stones up and running, so that he has Treekin available to him as well. Sadly, I think we won't be able to build Durthu's Wargrove or his special units, but that's, well, it makes sense, because otherwise what would be the point of having different heroes? Ooh, we also have these guys available now. Okay, well, we'll take a look at them. Oh, Sisters of the Thorn with Wayfarer. Might want somebody with Sisters of the Thorn Wayfarer buffs for Orion's army in particular. Hello, Steel Tech. Casualty punishment rate, probably not for our army, though. Alright, I'm getting distracted. There's more fun stuff to be had, having a great time with the Wood Elf campaign so far, and hopefully more fun stuff with Kugath and whatever else we get up to here at the start of next episode. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the hour long if you're into that sort of thing. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.